All right, welcome to the Arete Podcast. It's Tuesday, the 28th of April, and this is where we get together and get to know our members a little bit more. And with me today is Guy Carter. How are you, champion?
Yeah, good mate, yourself?
I'm very well. Coronavirus, I'm asking everyone, how's it affecting you and how are you coping with everything?
Yeah, I don't have it, so that's a good positive.
Yeah, that's a good start.
That is a good start, so probably a little bit late to tell you now if I did. Currently working from home until, I guess, things do change. We've got an office that's probably about 200 people, so we can't go back there until the stages have been, downgraded. But you're basically in isolation as everyone else is. So,
yeah, okay.
Yeah, eat, sleep, train, work, all from the same spot.
Yep. Have you been working from home for the last 6 weeks, the same as the gym's been closed?
Since the gym shut, I think they had about another week where there was limited people in the office.
Yep.
They were given the option to either choose to go in or not, and then it come to a stage where they just said no one, just to minimise the risk, because if it went through the office, one person got it, it was everyone touches every door, everyone touches, and if someone coughs or sneezes beside you, you really can't your desk is there, you don't get an option to walk away and leave and things like that. So yeah. So I think they minimise the risk, but by getting ahead of it early, and we're lucky enough that with the company I work for that we can work from home. The majority of the people, we've got a system that's in place that we are able to. So
yeah, that's good. I think so many companies and businesses are going to operate so differently. On the other side of this, they could realise that half of our workforce can work from home, and
you find a lot of dead weight too, actually.
Yeah.
So that's the other interesting side of it, and you see that where you can do things. You don't necessarily always have to go out to site for meetings, and a lot more. You can probably do things just via phone call or email, but then sometimes now the reaction time is a little bit less. So I'm working on a hospital's contract, and the hospitals have gotten busier in the current environment, and they expect our reaction time to be as quick, but it's not.
Yeah.
Where you don't have that interaction where you're in an office where you can turn around and ask someone a question. It's an email, it's a phone call. That might be an hour long. Take an hour before it gets back to you. So that's the difficulty I'm finding.
Okay.
But other than that, I enjoy it. I wake up at 6:59. I'm at work by 7. So it's quite good. So. Yeah. Then
1 minute and you're at work.
They're a little bit earlier actually, which is surprising. So I don't really get to many places early, as you've found out over the last year.
Yeah. Yeah, you do have that rolling in at 5 past, 10 past the start time.
Exactly. I usually just give that to John as a buffer so he can try to mentally prepare himself in the morning. So I don't think John and Shay are quite ready for me at 10 past 5.
Yeah. I think what compounds it is you come in and it's like, hey, Guy, how you going? Hey, how are you? Yeah, good, how's your day? And it's like, far out there, 15 minutes has gone by. And
yeah, that's it.
It's not like you just walk in and just slide straight in and...
Oh no, that's it. Yeah.
But it's like the conversations that go on
to get down there, and then I'll work my way back up.
Yeah.
And then I'll start hooking into some conditioning class with the boys and revving them up and figuring out who's not there and get on the messaging.
Yeah, give them a rev up.
Definitely.
With coronavirus, is there anything in your life that you're going to change permanently as a result of this?
Probably wash my hands more.
Yep.
It's hard for me. With that question, I guess, because my work is centred around the New South Wales health contract with Prince of Wales, Sydney Eye. So even when I was still going to site, you're at the forefront of it, and you're kind of seeing how much it affected people there, and how much all systems and process procedures and everything changed. But then also you're in the best place to work at that stage. They put in another additional 500 hand sanitizer stations around, and that's going to be a permanent thing. So I think people are going to adapt to that. I don't know. So I heard someone say the other day the handshakes might be trying to become a thing of the past, but I don't know about in our culture that will happen. No,
I don't think so. I think we'll get back to a point where, Jesus, we can shake hands.
Yeah.
Some people won't.
Yeah. I don't mind bowing, actually.
Yeah.
I've been bowing to everyone lately. Yeah.
What's your thoughts on this? Because I actually thought this the other day. How long would it be until we get back to after a class we do the high fives again? Because some people are going to be, no, I don't want to do that at all, ever again. And then there's other people that don't mind.
You might have to go to a sticker system, green sticker you can high five, red sticker you can't.
Yeah. So I think coming out of this, just on the same, more attention to that hygiene of, you take for granted before this about, what you touch and everything, but
just personal. I think it just highlighted things we should be doing anyway.
Exactly.
Which is your personal space and washing your hands before and after you do things, and I guess public spaces, which are what is the highest, where you contract, large areas of congregation. You're touching all the same doors. Bits and pieces, money. I think it highlighted the thing about cash.
Yes.
Also, which is I know Switzerland was trying to go cashless a couple of years ago, and obviously because of the tax evasions and other things like that. But that's huge.
Yeah.
Petrol stations, the Bowsers. You touch that. How many people touched that before you did?
Yep.
So that was something that they highlighted at our work, saying, if you're going to fill up a car, try and take a glove with you or something like that. So
yeah, I think definitely everyone will be carrying sanitizer in their car, because you're right. Actually, I've been conscious about the petrol pump, grabbing that and then going in and paying it. What you actually are more conscious of what you're touching. Yep,
definitely. I've even you've gone into some places and it says no cash.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, is it awkward to pay with cash now? I remember I had cash on me the other day, and they were like, oh, can you pay with cards? I'm like, what do you mean? Just take it, it's money.
Take my cash.
Yeah, take it. But no, that was something that I think they are highlighting, all the areas that are going to be major transfer areas, things you do touch and everyone else touches.
Yeah. Do you know anyone that's contracted it or had it?
No, I don't know anyone that's had it. I had two of my team leaders down at the hospital. They were cited. They thought they did have it. They went into, so you get tested every day with a thermometer gun. I think they do a couple other little bits of tests on you, and they had to go into a screening room, and then one of them, their temperatures was over. So they instantly sent those two guys home. They had to come back for a test later on. They got stood down for a week.
Really, a week?
Yeah, I think one of them was 3 days, and then the other one had symptoms longer. But that was the closest we had as a company. Also, there's 1,000 people in our company, Australia-wide, and they were the only two. And I think because they were working at the hospital, and it was quite eerie for them. They felt uncomfortable with working in some of the places they had to, because they were testing rooms and things like that. And, but they make, they're all sanitised and everything like that, but you still, how do you instill confidence into your guys? When I'm working from home, sitting behind my computer, and I'm like, oh, hey, can you go do this? Or you got this job? And they're like, oh, I don't really want to. And like, I know. So that was hard. But other than that, there's no one I know. I think out here, everyone's been pretty good. I know where, for a lot of my friends who are in trades which is majority of probably out where we live in Western Sydney, that hasn't really affected them. If anything, it's been easier. There's been a better run to work with traffic, and more accessible to jobs, and people I know for some commercial companies, people aren't in buildings, so they're actually able to get into office spaces and do those jobs that bigger companies were meaning to do, that you normally do at Christmas time because no one's in there, but you're able to do them now. So I found that some companies have, especially some industries, have benefit. Oh, sorry, what's the word? Haven't benefited, and I guess the other ones have skyrocketed.
It's definitely those companies that can adapt. Have really taken, the opportunities that'll come for them are going to be huge. And like I was saying to Sam on Saturday, some people and some companies, it's like, things have gotten better. And nothing has changed or got better, or it's collapsed
completely.
There's nothing, and there's no income, and you're it's really weird.
Certain industries, I guess, that rely on that, like entertainment industries and areas of mass congregation and things that you rely on having people around, or your industry, like catering and all things like that. Gyms, where you rely on people coming in every day to one spot. And then there's other people, I think, that will come away from it and go like, this has happened once. If it happens again, what have I got in place? The government you can't always just expect the government to bail you out. There will be some people who maybe career decisions.
Definitely.
Or try and have a second kind of game that just helps them a little bit. Maybe it's a little hobby type job, or that you can help. So I think it will, and people now have time to do that at the moment.
Yeah.
So maybe that little side project that you couldn't do, put a little bit more attention to and do it. So that's what I've seen some of my friends do. So
Yeah.
it's good.
Oh, it's definitely, I've had so much time to think, and like I felt vulnerable. Like the business is shut.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
And unless the JobKeeper allowance came in, you need 6 months worth of savings to get to live.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't have that. So it actually makes you think about, what are you doing with your life? Do you have enough to get through something like this again? That feeling of vulnerability.
People should come out of this better.
They should.
With a bit more direction anyway.
Yeah.
I think because if it happens once, it can happen again. I don't think where we live, we've been exposed to it too much, since the Spanish flu 100 years ago.
Yep.
So it's really not been in the forefront of anyone's mind. But in countries in Asia and parts of Europe where they have had pandemics before, they're maybe a bit more adapted to it or accepting.
Yeah. Like we actually just spoke about it just very briefly. I'd listening to a Joe Rogan podcast, and we're actually getting a slight taste of what it's permanently like in some countries, that you just can't go to the supermarket and get whatever you want, or the government.
Slight communism.
Yeah. The government says you can't go there, or you can't congregate with whoever you want. It's just a taste of what other countries have permanently.
Yeah, massively.
Yeah, so we are lucky here.
Yeah, it is. I think I've adapted pretty well to it. I feel like if you sat around and you let it get to you, then that's just your attitude in life in general. I think that day I left here at 10:30 and the gym shut at 12 o'clock. And then by the next day I had gear and my garage gym set up, and I wasn't sure if it was going to be a week or 2 or 3, but I wanted to facilitate that for myself as well as a couple of my mates that could always come around to train. And
you got to adapt.
Yeah, and work put things in place as well. And I like to think that I really didn't. Haven't had a day off. I've really just had to adjust to the circumstances, and then just keep moving forward.
Yep.
I walk my dog a lot more.
Yeah.
He likes it.
The dog's loving it.
Actually, I don't think he's loving it too much. He doesn't even really want to talk to me anymore. So I've been home for 6 weeks now.
What kind of dog are you?
A little French bulldog, a little Reuben.
Oh, Reuben. Yeah. Jesus. Oh, surely he doesn't walk far.
No, actually, it's good that I've got a dog that I can run faster than. So he's good for about 3 or 4 houses, because he ran away the other day, but I think he ran out of pace. So
So he's a British bulldog.
French bulldog.
French bulldog.
Yeah. So actually, he came with the house. He's my landlord. So I bought a house in December, and the lady who I bought it off couldn't take him to her new property. She was moving in with her son until her other house got built.
Yeah.
And she had no one that could really take him. And I lost my French bulldogs the day before the last comp we had. Oh. So it was like I thought
before the birthday bash.
Yeah, before the birthday bash. Yeah. So he died cardiac arrest, and
how old was he?
3 years old.
Oh wow.
British bulldogs and French bulldogs, and I think pugs and that, they have a respiratory problem because their nose is so flat and so thin, and when they get I guess bronchial problems. And, he'd been running around all day because we lived on 3 acres with my family, and I think he just got to a stage where it was a really hot day and hyperventilating, and then just couldn't catch his breath, and he passed away.
Yep.
And I guess it's funny how things worked out, because then I bought a house, and then there was this little French bulldog there on the first day I rocked up, and I was talking to her, the lady, about it, and next time I seen her, I said, look, rather than you try and find someone to put him, or because she was going to take him to a pet retreat, which is like a kennel, and she didn't know it was going to be indefinite until, to me, if you're going to build a house now and you haven't bought land, you're 2 years off.
Yeah.
Minimum, especially in the current environment, minimum.
Yes.
Especially council and things. And I said, leave him here with me. And I was kind of looking forward to having like a little mate that...
A bit of company again.
Yeah, and because he actually turned 5 last Saturday, as I found, the lady messaged me, but an old dog, and you kind of can't teach him new tricks in a way. Like, he's very stuck in his way, and that's his house, and he's demanded, so he will stand at the back door with his head against the glass until you let him in. And then and vice versa, when he wants to go out, he'll just stand there, and then he barks at you, and I think being home all day now in isolation has given me a chance to know him a bit better, because I haven't had him I've only had him for 6 months, and as you know, I'm usually here by 5:15 every morning, and I don't get home till 6:30 at night, so I miss out on seeing him quite a lot. And then now having him all day there, he's got a funny little personality, and it's good. I enjoy that. So I think everyone in one way or another, whether this isolation with their families, people connecting more with their families and being home a lot more, and asking the person next to you how the day was instead of just sitting, getting home at night, eating dinner, going to bed, which many of us do, especially younger people.
Definitely, mate. Yeah, I go through it now. You go home, and some days it's just peace, and because you've been with people all day.
Yep.
But yeah, you're literally the only company you have is in your own head.
Yeah, massively.
And if you're not in a good mood, or if you are in a good mood, that determines your night.
Yep.
And because you've got no one else to say, don't want to sound like you're miserable or lonely, but it's having that other person definitely does help to bounce.
Yeah,
how your day was.
Yeah, for sure. I think, and then sometimes I think that's what sports and training, that's another avenue for that too. So,
definitely.
Usually it's the first thing I see in the morning is here, and it might be the last thing I see before I go home. And you see me probably come in the morning, bounce off the walls, and very rarely have I come in the afternoon. Usually if I've been sick or something, that you'd be like, what's wrong with me? Everyone thinks the world's crashing down around me, but I still come here and train, I just don't talk to anyone. But that's very rare. But I do get what you mean in that, and I think Ruben having that little something there every day does help.
Is he a loud sleeper, as in?
Oh, he snores,
So a little bit of trivia. So I got sleep apnea.
Yep.
And I sleep with a CPAP machine.
Yep.
And so going through the whole sleep study and then diagnosis, and then how to fix that, the specialist was saying to me that 100% of British and French bulldogs have sleep apnea, and a lot of the studies in how they're trying to find a cure for it is done on bulldogs.
Yeah, right.
Because they have sleep apnea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he's when he sleeps, he's just asleep for a while, but you could hear him snore and things like that. So
yeah, and that's dying of heart attack and respiratory issues. That's
all part of it.
Part of sleep apnea is it's it was something like 40% higher chance of a heart attack once you turn 60 if you have sleep apnea.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it's just that. British bulldogs, French bulldogs, they
got that.
Yeah.
Oh, you can take him any night you want. You do your own little study on him and listen to him. I'm sick of hearing him snore.
No. Does he snore, or is he like a choking sound?
No, he does a little snore.
Yeah,
you can hear him, yeah. And he's straight up in the morning when I am too. He's looking for something to do, and I'm like, mate, I've got to go to training.
Yeah. Does he sleep a lot, do you know?
Yeah, I think you wear him out, he sleeps. I've been walking him 3 times a day lately, so.
Yeah, because part of sleep apnea is, that's why a lot of bulldogs, they sort of snooze a lot.
Yep.
Because they're constantly tired from that sleep, the apnea episodes constantly.
Yeah, I gotcha.
So they're never truly.
We're never truly in that REM sleep, are you?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, which is another thing, isn't it? So how's that all going for you? Are you sleeping better?
Oh, mate, 100% better. So before the diagnosis, I was having 52 episodes an hour. So every minute or so, my airway would close and I would stop breathing, and then the mechanism would kick in and say, hey, you're not breathing, and dump cortisol in, stress, wake me up subconsciously. My airway would open and then it would slowly relax again, and that was happening every minute.
Yeah, wow.
And I used to fall asleep at traffic lights at 9 a.m. I used to need a sleep during the middle of the day. I was just constantly woke up tired. I was moody, but I thought everyone lived like that.
Yeah,
that was normal.
No.
Then once I had the sleep study, and then with the CPAP machine, I now have 4 episodes an hour. And
that's like me when I come here and train.
Yeah, my clarity of thought. I don't need to sleep in the middle of the day. I can drive now without falling asleep, because I used to.
Yeah, wow.
I'd get so sleepy and want to, just driving to Newcastle, I'd have to pull over, because it was really bad.
It's not bad, yeah.
But now I could drive to Queensland fresh.
I think
not
that's
fresh, but you know what I mean. Like it's such a difference, mate, in my life. Unbelievable.
That'd be like the first week coming back to training at 5 a.m. in the morning. Yeah. I live in the grass hill. I might fall asleep a couple of times on the way here. I'm getting quite used to these sleep-ins.
Yeah.
Part of me that wouldn't mind it going through winter.
Yeah.
Because that last year when I started doing conditioning early and those 5:30 a.m.s on the assault bike in middle of winter were hell.
Horrific.
Yeah, it blows that cold wind straight up into you.
Yeah.
And you see John in the corner laughs at you. And you think, what the fuck am I doing here?
Hey, where'd you grow up, man?
So I grew up in Londonderry.
Yeah.
Grew up there. When I was born, my parents lived in North Richmond.
Mm-hmm.
Had it back on Peck's Road. They built a house out there.
Okay.
And then I spent the next 25 years in Londonderry. So
Yeah.
I've only just flown the coop recently.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a change.
Yeah. Did you have property at Londonderry?
3 acres.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
how old were you when you moved there? Sorry.
4.
Okay.
Yeah, just around 4. Yeah. So because I went to Londonderry Primary, and then I went to Richmond High, or Richmond Grammar, as some people like to call it.
Richmond Grammar. Yes, I love it.
Yeah. So I say that, people go, "Where?" I was like, it's Richmond High. Even know what is that?
Richmond Grammar.
Yeah.
From now on, that's what we're going to call it.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's no longer Richmond High. I like that.
Yeah, that's it. the peak of education around here. So
Yeah.
that's good.
3 acres. How did you find that growing up?
Loved it.
Yeah.
It was good. I think it was at a time. Well, I guess we're probably the last generation to go through about technology, really, really accessible.
Yep.
So it was motorbike riding. My parents always had like horses and things like that. So we had paddocks that we could build jumps in. Forever just playing outdoors.
Yeah.
Which was good. So and then we also lived pretty close to like the drop zone out the back there, so you could sneak on your motorbike up there. Where now you wouldn't run the risk.
Yeah.
So the things like that, which is good. I mean, I've heard a few other people on the podcast talk about that, around my age. So they talk about that last era of riding your bikes and doing all this. And actually, it's been comforting, this bit of isolation, seeing how many kids are actually outdoors now.
100%.
Is it that because you're told you can't do something, you go do it?
Yeah.
But there's these 2 kids who live on my road, a couple of doors down, and like some of the boys that train with me now still sit at 8 o'clock in the morning. They're on the bikes.
Yep.
And they're still on it at 5 o'clock at night until their mum calls them in, and they've got these little makeshift jumps, and they're at 8 o'clock in the morning. They ride all day, and I'm like, how good is that?
Yeah.
You don't see that anymore.
Nah. I think there's just time to do it, and people now, it's sort of forcing people to take time to do the basics in life.
Yeah. There's only so much, YouTube or whatever it is, like the kids or the games and that we could play. But I think the parents are also home a lot more now to look after the kids.
Yep.
So where that 8-hour random day they might have had by themselves, now it's 5 days a week. A parent might be looking after the kid and they're telling them to go outside. And that's what I'm seeing just in the neighbourhood that I live in the Grass Hill. So it's good. I enjoy seeing them outside.
Yeah, mate, it's great. I'm from an era too where our whole childhood was outside. There's something to it.
Yeah, massively.
And the people that I've spoken to in this, those that had a little bit of land too, a little bit of property, 3 acres, 5 acres, 10 acres, loved it.
Yeah, exactly. It's a bit of freedom.
When did you get your first motorbike?
Would have been 5 or 6.
Yeah,
5,
okay.
Yeah. So I had motorbikes on and off until I was into high school. Got into wakeboarding, which is through friends that had boats, and we always water skied, and then the cable park at Penrith.
Yep.
Reopened after I had a 10-year hiatus. I got into that probably when I was 18, I think, as I left school, and then started riding competitions, and I won an Australian amateur competition one year there at a comp as well, and then went on a trip overseas to the Philippines, which has got some really good wake parks, and so that was a pretty good
for wakeboarding.
For wakeboarding, yeah. So that's kind of led into all that, and then that was about 5 or 6 years. Probably, I think CrossFit kind of took over that. It was where I was doing that every day. It was just something that all your friends were doing. You got to see your mates every day. You could ride, even though it was a predominant summer sport. You still rode a bit in winter.
Yeah.
And then you're hell bent on doing that full time, and then something else comes along, like a CrossFit. And I feel like now a lot of my attention, like I come here, and it's what I enjoy doing at the moment. So
yeah.
A little bit more forgiving.
Yeah. A little bit more forgiving.
A little bit more forgiving. Yeah.
Were your parents into bike riding and wakeboarding, or how did you get into?
So my stepdad very good water skier.
Yep.
My mum could ski, but wasn't really her forte. Wasn't into it. But motorbike riding, the same thing. And my mum grew up on the driftway.
Okay.
Actually, I think they got about 10 acres there.
Yep.
So always when you got that many acres and a farm, like my nan and pop still live there in the same house, and they've still got all the animals and everything as well. So if you have access to that as a kid, especially back 30 years ago, 40 years ago, that's all you did.
Yeah. Yeah. So you can see Londonderry becoming, like, Richmond's getting bigger.
Yeah, it's slowly creeping out.
That big servo, on the big roundabout, Northern Road, and
it's about McDonald's.
Yeah, McDonald's.
I think there's a McDonald's at every end of Londonderry. There's Richmond, the Bly Park, and then the one up the other end of Londonderry Road. So it's too accessible.
It's just going to be that little pocket where sort of urbanisation is just going to start to.
But if you look on there's plans for the freeway to go through there up over the mountains, which is something that I know you see. There's a bit on social media about it. There's some groups trying to stop it, but I don't know how long what the plan is there. But that's meant to run straight through the heart of Londonderry off the M7.
Yeah, so I think the M7 is going to extend and then take a left around Landilo and run along the Northern Road all the way to Campbelltown. Yep. And then also keep going up over the mountain. Yeah. Eventually.
Yeah, that's a huge project in the future. But yeah, that's I guess that's the plan for Londonderry. At the moment, it's just a little pocket of rural areas, and there's quite a lot of housing developments that have gone up in the last 5 years that you never even thought they could fit that many houses in there. Like that used to just be where we used to ride bikes and have little push bike jump tracks, and now there's 10 units there.
Yeah.
So
did you ever get chased by the cops around there on the bikes?
Yeah, they made me walk my bike home one time, and they said that if they come back and caught me riding it, they were going to take it. And I remember them getting far off in the distance, and I decided to side saddle it just so it looked like I was. But I was still kicking my legs, so it looked like I was pushing it. Yeah. So, but I was too far away. But I ended up getting home. And once I got out of sight, I gunned it home. But once or twice, I definitely got chased, and they did catch me. So, but I got away with it. But now I think they'd probably take your bike.
Yeah, they would. Yeah. I wonder if it was me ever.
Were you? Actually, yeah.
Yeah, because I worked at Penrith.
Oh yeah, were you a dirt bike?
No.
Because they were in the drop zone a heap.
Yeah, so my time at Penrith, I was in an anti-theft and drug unit. So we did a lot of search warrants around Penrith, Landilo, St Mary's, Cranebrook. Yeah, a lot of pot. And there was fair bit of ecstasy getting around back, and a few labs at that time. Yep. But when we were bored, we used to chase trail bikes around just for a chase.
Just for a bit of fun?
Yeah, just for a bit of fun. Like, nothing ever serious come of it, but...
usually it's just harmless kids.
Yeah.
And that's the other...
Yeah. So we'd be in
big bully.
We'd always be in an unmarked car.
Yeah.
So you could get actually pretty close up, and then...
But would that be in the rural areas, or would that be in more your Cranebrookshire?
It was more the outskirts of Cranebrook.
I was saying, but they're going down the average road.
Yeah.
With a pair of thongs and some footy shorts on.
Definitely not in the bush.
Yeah, because those are the ones them guys actually they can ride pretty well. So I've got a couple of mates who were in the motocross, and they thought they could get away, but they're on a bike all day, every day. That's their job. Yep. So it wouldn't be a bad job if you were into that. So.
Mate, it'd be great.
Yeah. Not bad.
Just chasing around on a trail bike.
100%.
Do you have brothers and sisters?
Yeah, I've got a sister. She's 3 years younger than me, Gemma. She just had a baby boy, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, so her family's growing. Uncle Guy, that's it. the good uncle. And I've got a younger brother, Bo. I think you've seen Bo. Bo's come here a fair few times. Yeah. The Illustrated Man.
Yes.
So he finished up playing football this year. He started his own company as a carpenter, gone out by himself, and
fantastic.
I think he's always been into sports and played pretty high level football, and now I've slowly convinced him to come across into CrossFit. Yep. And he loves it.
Yeah.
So he's just gone online the other day and bought a barbell and some weights, and he got a rower as well the other day, and because he doesn't know how long it's going to be over as well, but he's working big days, so some days he can't make the class, but I think it's good to see him still I guess have an interest in sports, even though he gave away the other thing and wants to better himself here. So at 20 years old, it's crazy not to.
Yeah, because he was at Penrith, was he? And
Penrith,
then the Roosters?
Yeah, no, Roosters first.
Yeah.
Roosters, and he played up an age the rep size, and then in the 20s, and then come to Penrith, and then once he kind of finished out his time with Penrith and St Mary's.
Yeah.
So I think he will go back, but going out, starting a business by himself in the current environment, and then the floods are not happening, and then not having work, and then it was kind of, I think it was too stressful for him.
Yeah.
And now he's had a bit of time. He's had a couple of months to breathe. And then he's still working now, which is good because the carpenter, they can go to work as essential guys. And so now he's kind of got it all figured out, and he's enjoying his training again, which is good to see. So as an older brother, you kind of don't want we want him to do something. You don't want him to just go by the wayside. And,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So
did you ever play rugby league?
Yeah, I played rugby league. I started at Windsor with Darren Handfield.
How old were you then?
Played soccer from maybe 5 to 10, and then football onwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I was a bit too much contact in soccer, so it was a natural progression. And then went across to Windsor, and I was at Windsor for a few years.
So you played with Azza, eh?
Played with Azza, yeah. And then this is where it gets interesting, because I went to St Mary's, as Sam Hollis would talk about. They were the team that won every year.
So you were in that St Mary's side.
I was a little bit older than Sam.
Yep.
Some of the guys that Sam spoke about, your Greg Waddells and that I played with those guys. They were my age, and they're phenomenal. But we went across, and I think I come to a side that won 6 years in a row. I was probably the second white guy on the side as well, actually, which made it interesting. So, but to Aaron and the rest of the guys, I was a turncoat. So still raising me up about it now. Then we won a couple of grand finals, and then Windsor actually come up into our division, which is Division 1, which is Aaron and Lachlan Coote and some of the other local guys like that.
Yeah. How old were you then?
When they come up?
When they come up?
I think 16s.
Okay.
So I'd won 2 grand finals, 3 grand finals with St Mary's, and they come up, and then the next year they actually beat us in a grand final. So that was huge, because I was marked, man. Every tackle, Aaron would give me a face massage, ears pulled, you name it, hair, everything. He just wanted to line me up every time. And the crowd were giving it to me, and you're wearing the wrong colour green and things like that. So it made it interesting for a couple of years. It was always the most heated match. Yeah. So off the kickoff, you knew they were kicking it to you. Yeah. Every time you got the ball, it was a pile-on. So yeah.
What position were you mainly?
I was lock, hooker, and then kind of went to 5'8" every now and again. But I've been the same size since I was 16. So so I made a good lock.
What was that your favourite position?
Yeah,
lock?
I love lock.
Yeah,
defensively.
You get a lot of freedom playing in that position. Yeah, and you get the best of both worlds, kind of.
You do,
you can sort of, when the going gets tough, you can just dig in there and do the hard yards.
For sure. And I was a better defensive player, and I think that being a small white guy, a lot of Penrith is full of Polynesians that they'd always just tend to pick you out and run at you. Yeah. So I copped a lot of traffic. Yeah. So
it sort of forces you to defend, doesn't it?
Doesn't it? Yeah, you've got no choice. So that'll go stand out in the wing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
Did you win any grand finals?
Won 6, lost 1.
Yep.
Yeah, so it was good. Got a few jackets.
Unlike Sammy, it was almost the opposite.
The opposite. I was only listening to it this morning. I thought, it is polar opposite, but I think St Mary's did have that notoriety that they did stack a lot of their size, full of rep players. Yep. The only reason I went across there is I got asked to go across at a young age, and I thought, I'm going to go. In hindsight, I probably would have been better off staying at Windsor, because when you're around 15 rep players, you don't stand out quite as much. Yeah. As if you are around 2 or 3. Yep. So.
Did you have aspirations of going further?
Yeah, I think I did.
Yep.
At one stage, when I went for the New South Wales schoolboys carnivals and things like that, they were all it was very good. You're around some elite players and a few little squads here and there, but I just think that going across the St Mary's didn't really ever. It probably was a bad move in the long run. It was good to get a few jackets. Yep. And win a few grand finals, but I bet some of the best years of your life also. The guys 100%. There, I played up to A grade, had a few years off, and went back and played a little bit of Sydney Shield at Windsor a few years ago, and then I've boxed also, just on and off over the years, keeping fit, fitness, and I've kind of thought, I'm going to give that away, and I stayed boxing, and then I found this. I found CrossFit Arete, so cool. So just kind of stayed active. Yeah, I enjoy this, and this is the closest thing to football and a team sport you can get without having to I guess, to go out on the weekends. It's just the training aspect of it is like that.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. I definitely feel, and I think that's my attraction to CrossFit has been, I feel like I'm back footy training.
Yeah.
Around people that want to train. It's hard.
Oh, definitely.
You know, you can.
And there's banter.
There's banter.
There's competition.
Competition.
Yeah.
You feel wrecked at the end of it sometimes.
Definitely.
There's some skill involved in moving your body.
Yeah, massively. I think in CrossFit, as a sport, does demand a lot from you, and it's not for everyone, which is like other sports. And I found that the difference between going here to a Globo gym is that anyone, you pay money to use the equipment at other places, where here you pay money to join like a culture, like a society. I think and they're all like-minded people. Like I think Sammy mentioned it, a lot of people in here are successful, have their own businesses. They hold themselves at a high level, and to be around that, you need to hold yourself at a high level. And if you're not a motivated person, you're not coming here at 5 o'clock in the morning getting on a assault bike, and that transcends to outside of CrossFit.
Yeah.
And I think there's some people that weren't maybe that person, and they've joined, and their whole life has changed. I've seen that quite a lot. And
yeah. I think that's human nature. I think everyone has it in them. They just haven't found that purpose to bring it out, or the right environment to bring it out of them.
Well, yeah, who you hang around.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you're coming here twice a day, it's your decision making is going to get a lot better, and what this demands of you physically and mentally, you know, that is going to transcend out of here. Yeah. I think that since I started here, I got 2 promotions at work. I bought a house. I think my friendship group got stronger.
Yep.
I got more clarity in myself. So so I think it's good. It does.
I think you start to make, different decisions in your life in terms of once you get into routines and you start enjoying aspects of your life, and then they start to feed each other.
Especially, I really enjoy it. I think, as you know, I come here twice a day, and I found something that, because I do have a tendency to have like ADD, which is all quite
I've got a fair bit to ask around this.
It feeds that energy.
Yes.
And I do go home at night and I sleep like a baby, because I think I run myself right all day, and then I turn up again the next day and I do it again. And I found something that matches, that does feed what I need.
What does motivate you or inspire you, or where do you get that from? Or where do you get your energy from?
So I think from being younger, my stepdad has a hell of a work rate as a human. Like, he just non-stop. He's doing something for someone always. He's at work, he comes home, we've got a couple of acres, so he's always working around the house. And if I'm going to work, you're going to work, was his attitude, you know what I mean? You're not sitting at home. And you can say that my younger brother and my sister as well. I think he just instilled that into us from a young age.
Yeah, because Bo looks like he's on the go all the time.
Yeah, and that's I think that's from my stepdad. Like, and he's you remember him from the UWS gym? Yeah, he was he trained every day. I think he's trained every day for about 30 years.
Yeah.
Just he goes in, does his bit, and goes home. He's healthy, he's fit. What is he? He'd be 50 something now, and he's probably got the best set of legs on the horse. Really, like, he's just a rig.
Is he still going to the uni gym?
No, he's at any time now.
Okay.
Yeah, I've tried to get him in here a little bit.
Yeah.
I think he's worried about his gymnastic skills. So I've caught him on the clothesline a few times trying to do some toes to bar, but that's about it.
Yeah.
So no, he's. I think we got it from him, and then
toes to bar. I just had a mental picture.
Yeah.
We do a toes to bar on the clothesline.
Yeah. No, I propositioned Mum about that, but she wouldn't have a bar of it. So
yeah.
But no, we definitely got it from him, and then because he was always going to train, he took me to the gym maybe when I was 15 or 14. I think if you remember back in the day, you could come with your parent if they signed.
Yep.
And then I just started training with guys that I went to school with, and playing football demands quite a lot from me. And as you get higher up, your training increases, and being around those guys, and I like the competition. I think it brings the best out in people, and pushes you to that next level.
100%.
Yeah, and that's what this does provide in here. And learning. Like, you get good at something, you can always do something, the next level, or 10 more, or you can always, and that's where wakeboarding was quite good as well.
Yeah.
So if you landed the trick, or you learn, okay, you can add another spin, you can do another flip, you can do this, you can do that, but that's never ending.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's very small progression in it, and I think, like, if your friends stop, that's what happened over there. A lot of the guys, just kind of the crew fell apart. Everyone got a lot older and stopped riding, and it wasn't fun anymore.
Yeah.
And I was still training on the outside, so I think this taking over that was, it gave me that outlet where it's like I see my friends every day here, plus I get something good out of it. You know, you could say it's an addiction.
Yeah, there's always something that you can improve on.
Yeah, huge.
And it doesn't matter what you're doing in here. So, okay, if it's your gymnastics, there's always something more to that skill to hone in on, or, you know, if it's an assault bike, there's always more calories you can get in a minute. Or, you know, wall balls, there's always, you can go faster and, you know, unbroken, longer. It's just endless.
And if you're willing to put in the hard yards, you do see progressions pretty quickly. Like I think Benny, maybe a year now, just over, and it's like and you see a lot of people, even the guys I train with most mornings, like Chris Hopper's lost 30 kilos. Mate, and just some of those guys are going through the roof of their training, and the things they could and couldn't do, and that now they can. It's like you enjoy seeing that.
Yeah.
I think you feed off other people's energy as well. As much as probably they feed off mine in the mornings, because I get them out of bed some mornings in the group chats and the phone calls, but I feed off theirs. I couldn't do it without them. It sucked when I did probably 3 weeks here by myself, conditioning last year, and then all of a sudden they started building like a bit of a crew, and now that, you know, we all feed off each other, which is good. Yeah,
so when I speak to those fellas, they almost feel accountable to the group. And they love it so much, and then they, you know, you have your group chat throughout the day, and what he's doing, where were you this morning? So they feel like they're a part of not only CrossFit Arete, but also they're a part of a little group that motivates them. Yeah,
exactly. And like most of us were just kind of like average Joes that I guess wanted to train harder, train a little bit extra, and we've got that now. And like you're right, if some guy misses, they apologise, and half an hour later, or there's a phone call to him, and everyone tees him up, and it's good. And I think having that, like, I'm scared to not come out of fear that they're going to give it to me. So I turn up every morning. There's some mornings I don't want to come, but I know that I cop it worse because I give it to them harder than when they don't show up. So
do you feel a responsibility to them?
Yeah, massively. Yeah, I definitely do, and it's good, and especially because you do see some of the other guys who didn't really come from a sporting background, and just the whole life's changed now, and you know, they're going leaps and bounds, which is awesome. So
how did this make you feel? So we would we'd open up at 5:30, and then, you know, people would do their own conditioning, and then we'd have that 6 a.m. class. So when I was coming in and doing those 6 a.m. classes, people were coming in at 5:30, and they'd come in and they'd set up their rollers or their bikes, and they'd just sit there. And what he's doing? Oh, we're just waiting for Guy. and then like they're just sitting
5 minutes late, like,
and then 5 minutes late, you rock in, you put the music on, and away you go. And so you started. They would wait for you, and
that's
like,
cool.
You almost become like a little leader of that group.
That's it.
What do you think of that?
Oh, that's cool. I think I enjoy that they actually wait for me, because you don't get that a lot. Everyone's on such a tight schedule these days, and sometimes I know the boys come in a little bit earlier, but I think it's cool. It's a mutual respect in a way. Like
they feel motivated by you.
But for me to come in too, I get motivated by them for seeing them here. Like, it pushes me to go harder. I think when I first started doing it, there was just a couple of us, and then your Aaron Handfields and your Quadrios and that come, and it's like, oh, I need to step up now. I need to get more cows. I need to be quicker. And I think it's part of the reason why all our training kind of, you know, our levels of fitness increased dramatically.
Some weapons we push it.
That's it. And you come in the afternoon, and then you see the other guys, and you're like, wow, like, it's just you're forever. How do you say? Like, trying to improve because there's someone that does something. They're better, and you're like, oh, you don't ever get jealous. You're like, I want to learn how to do that. Why? Because I can't. And then once I learn to do that, I want to learn to do the other thing, and it's good. I enjoy it.
Have you ever considered coaching or getting a PT?
I think I spoke to you towards the end of last year, and we spoke about going and doing it, and then the next Sydney course was the one that James Clark was going to go do. COVID happened. I think everything's been put on ice until then. I think that they probably won't come back until next year. Definitely keen on that, and I love my career. I really enjoy it. I think I'd like to do maybe one class a week, just so I had that. Just to stay in touch with doing things, and then eventually later on, I would love to go into a gym, to own a gym. obviously where my career's at now, and I've just bought a house and things like that maybe another 10 years or so. But
Yeah.
I think that it's what I enjoy doing.
Yeah.
And if you like, I really enjoy going to work, but having this also,
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's your hobby. You can turn your hobby into a job at some degree, and
Yeah.
yeah. So
I want to ask you about work and all that in a sec. How did you hear about us and CrossFit and
so last
like how did you end
Christmas
up
we had,
coming here?
which I think you guys shut over Christmas in 2019.
19, yeah.
Yeah, and then James Clark still was coming to Anytime.
Yep.
And he come in, and James Clark's always been a big man, but he never had an 8-pack. So where'd you get those from, bro? And he's like, oh, we do CrossFit. But I had a taste of CrossFit at another gym previously, a couple of years before, and it wasn't, I think just the environment wasn't quite this. So my taste of CrossFit was like, I was like, oh, it's cool, it's all right. But
Yeah.
it wasn't as much gymnastics or cardio or conditioning and some of the stuff we do here. And the WODs weren't quite as inventive, and it was just a hell of a lot of like Olympic lifting, and it wasn't what I was really interested in a couple of years before.
Yeah.
And then James was like, no, come give it a go. And you guys opened up, and I think I walked back through the door and he's almost fell over. You're like, oh, the prodigal son returns. Because I used to see you guys in WS a fair bit.
Yeah. 'Cause I hadn't seen you for quite a while.
Years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think at the time you were mainly doing boxing.
Yeah, mainly doing boxing. So
Yeah.
I finished football and just was doing a bit of
Where were you
of
boxing
gym.
at?
So I box out at Jab Out over at Penrith.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very good gym, very good trainers,
Yep.
good guys. I think that over the years I've just kind of always done it as more of a to stay fit type thing, and I do enjoy it. I enjoy sparring and things like that. So I broke my nose twice a year. I was meant to go back and fight after finishing football.
Yeah.
So I just put everything. You can't spar, you can't do anything. Like, it's kind of like a bit of a bump on it now, as you can see through there.
Yeah.
Break it one way and then break it the next way. So
Evened it out.
yeah, even today I thought I was going to look like Owen Wilson.
Have you seen Blake Ferguson?
Horrible.
lately?
Yeah.
Jeez.
It's like a dog leg at a par 9.
Yeah. If anyone doesn't know, Google Blake Ferguson, Parramatta Eels. Check out his nose.
Horrible, hey?
Yeah.
Almost does a U-turn on it. Comes back down. But he can't get that operated on until he finishes football.
Yeah. So I had mine broken quite a few times, and I've got this, as
Yeah.
you can see. And that was, I couldn't breathe out of one side of my nose, and it wasn't until I finished football before I went and had all the reconstruction done inside. And this is as best as what it's going to get.
Did that play part with your sleep apnea at all?
So back then, so I'm talking 15 years ago now, and I thought that I was sort of, so I never really snored, but I was like always making this choking sound.
Yeah.
And so I thought it was not getting air through my nostrils because it was so badly broken from football. But then once I got all the surgery and then allowed it to all settle down, the issue was still there. So it wasn't.
Okay.
Mine was just like, I can breathe a lot better now when I'm awake.
Yeah.
Because of that, but yeah, I had to wait till I finished football because, with boxing and football, you're getting hit in the nose and broken
you need a long
noses
time off
all the time.
Yeah.
So
High impact there, but no, that's kind of what happened there. I still go there. Like, some days I'll finish work, go there, and then come here.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 or 4 times a week.
Yeah.
It's gotten less as, I guess, with the new role at work and things like that, because work does demand quite a lot from me now.
Yeah.
So
with the activity that you're doing each day, how many calories are you going through? Do you know, or you just eat?
No, I don't even.
You don't?
Yeah, not. I mean, I do eat at lunch and that, but I can't really eat before training. I feel like I get sick.
Yeah.
Especially going there, because I found I can box and then come here, but I can't go here and then go there.
Right.
This demands a lot from you. Like, you're a lot tired. Like, your body's tired after this. Where there, you might go and it might be just like you have a straight cardio day, and they'll be like, all right, there's 8Ks, go run, come back in, skip for 20 minutes, then do a bit of bag work, and then you go home. So it's structured differently.
Yeah.
But I enjoy it, and I guess like here, it's an individual sport, but over there it's even more so individual. So everything is on you. Where here, you can do your partner things and you can slacken off. If you slacken off over there, you're going to get hurt. So
yeah. Have you had any amateur or
just when I was
fights?
younger, just a couple of the exhibition things, but
Yep.
but that's about it because I was always playing football, so it was more to keep fit in off seasons.
Okay.
So yeah,
Yep.
no, my goal this year until this all happened was to do 2 comps with CrossFit and then
Yep.
do maybe 2 fights. So that was and then now that's all been put on the wayside. So
Yeah.
I like to have that diversity.
Yep.
I figured like if I was really fit at one, I'd be really fit at the other. It's just I've got to go down to 76 kilos
Yeah.
in boxing.
Yep.
Where because
What are you weighing now?
82.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so you can get down there, but it's just I mean before isolation I was sitting around 80. So I think everyone was 82, 83. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I've never, I don't know, I've never really experienced weight cut in boxing,
Yep.
but I've experienced it to do powerlifting comps.
Yep.
And so people that I've been around and myself, I've never experienced it or seen anyone weight cut and perform well.
Yeah, there's definitely an art to it. Some of these
Yeah.
guys will weight cut. They do like a phantom weight cut all the water out, like 7 or 8 kilos, and then weigh in the next day, and they put 5 kilos back on
Yeah.
before they fight.
Yeah.
So you're not fighting the same person that weighs in that I've seen. It's not so much more so for what I've experienced, more the boys over there, but you do see what they go through, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do it 3 or 4 times a year, 5 times a year, and then they don't. It's not. It's just like it is a water cut for them.
Yeah.
So
So you don't, I think with strength sports, they
Yep.
say weightlifting or powerlifting or strongman, I think it really hits you hard
Huge.
if you, your weight cut. But boxing, you might be able to.
yeah, I think there's some of these guys, especially the pros out of that gym there, they're so used to it.
Yep.
And they're like they've got to cut 10 or 12 kilos, and they're like, some people don't lose that in a year, and they'll lose it in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
But you see, like they do, they're moody and they're running, and it
Yeah.
does demand a lot from you.
Yes.
But they want to get down to that weight, to fight at that weight, so it's easier for them, or
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
size difference, body types.
Yep.
So that's another thing with CrossFit. It doesn't go on your weight. So I'm 82 and I've got to clean 100. That's 20 kilos more than I weigh. Where you got some of
Yeah.
these bigger guys in here who clean their body weight, and it's like that's 100, 110 kilos. Like
Yep.
I look at that and go, wow. I'm like, hang on, that's their body weight. You should be able to do that.
Yes. Yeah.
So
What have you found most challenging about CrossFit? Like,
probably the weightlifting, because I've never been into it.
yeah.
The Olympic lifting. But then also I never put any time into it up until probably recently.
Yeah.
And I think now having a garage gym just in isolation, and I've really honed in on trying to get better at that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've got like a little chin up bar and things like that in there, but like standing there every day and going, okay, I want to work on my snatch and work on my cleans and things like that. Like I want to come back better from isolation. I didn't want to use it as like I want to sit around and do burpees until the cows come home. So,
Yeah.
Which is what a lot of people are, but I took initiative and I went out and got some gear and I turned it around. I'm like, okay, I want to get better.
Yeah.
So, because not every day you get to come in here and it is bar work every day, or you got to do a lot of it yourself.
Yeah.
Because you got to counter for everyone.
Yeah.
So
I think too with weightlifting is what I found, and what got my respect for it was you almost got to. You think, oh, okay, weightlifting, I've got to increase my strength, but it's actually you got to work on your mobility and flexibility,
technique,
and your technique first before because the strength's there.
Yep.
It's just people can't get into positions because they haven't been working on their mobility.
Yep.
So starting off by focusing on mobility, and then you become more flexible, and then then the technique becomes a bit more honed in, and then the strengths just because people go once they get their mobility flexibility sorted and their technique, okay, the strength just goes like it's there.
You start getting like great increases.
Yeah.
There are some of the things like even like cleaning where Ash one day is like, oh, what are you doing here? I'm like, oh, I bounce off my hip.
Yeah.
It's like, is it? He goes, what do you mean you bounce off your hip? I'm like, I watched a video, you do this. He's like, no, I think it just looks like you bounce off the hip.
Yeah.
But I was trying to bounce it out and like I was not working at all. So that's why I could never go any higher. And he's like, how long have you been doing that for? I'm like, oh, since maybe January last year.
Forever.
So things like that where I think you maybe just you don't ask for help, or you just go along doing what you're doing.
Yep.
But then not until you put a little bit more attention into it, you're like, oh, it is technique, or that is a little bit easier, which is a little bit of advice. So.
Do you think you'll put off your goals, say 2 comps and 2 boxing 2 fights until 2021?
Yeah,
or
everything's been suspended, really.
Yeah, I don't think this year will be any events will happen.
This year's a write-off.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I mean, you'd be lucky to get something out at the end of the year. I know some of the boys are talking about doing the Bay Games, and Quadrio, Aaron, myself and Logan, and I know that there's a Brad, Tommy, who else is in that there? Brad, Tommy, and I think 2 of the other boys, Jake and Braden. Yeah, so that's later on in the year. It'd be cool to get a big crew of everyone to go down and bit of fun. And but that's best case scenario.
Yeah.
I know that they're not just going to let everyone go straight back into,
Yeah, I think if they're going to, like I was saying before, for us to come in, open the roller door and say, okay, back to normal classes, I don't think that's before September, October. I think there'll be a really controlled
stage by stage,
and I don't think we're going to see spectator events until there's possibly a vaccine or it's so manageable in the community that they'll
people will be shy to go out to large. Like, it's still present, I guess, to a degree. It's not just it doesn't exist anymore, and I think people will be maybe second guessing going to larger events and things like that. So spectator events might be not so much that they might open it to spectators, but you won't get the large congregation of people who attend.
Yeah.
So
well, mate, once we're open and ready to go, the Arete Throwdown will be back.
I don't think that'd be a problem. I think everyone will be straight back in here. So it was actually a bit of a tease having it in here today.
Yeah.
I was almost going to tell you to take us somewhere else.
yeah. It's actually been strange being in here and has not the same activity and the same energy.
Yeah. It's good to see that everyone's still, there's a community around like the business or CrossFit Arete, whatever that it is, that is still so heavily involved in all social media, and it'd be interesting to see if this would have happened prior to social media.
Yeah.
And just watch everyone maybe just fall away and then hopefully pick up the pieces back after it.
Yep.
I think it allows everyone to still be in touch and check in, and it gives your coaches another avenue, like for to still have a job.
To still have a job.
Yeah, to still pay bills and things like that. So I think it's good. Like if you try and you can try and turn a negative into a positive in some way.
Yeah.
Not just throw your hands up.
Yeah, exactly. Like you said, I guess it's the businesses that have put the work into relationships and have a community that will survive.
Yep, for sure.
On the other end of this. With work, what do you exactly do?
So, electrician by trade. Over the years, I kind of just slowly, worked my way up in positions, and then I got into automation, and then from there I went into fire automation, which is a commercial. So your larger buildings and hospitals and that all have an integration system that, in the event of a fire, certain doors have to open, air conditioning systems have to shut down, fire brigade has to be called, and it's all electrically programmed certain ways. And there's big companies out there doing it. I work for an engineering firm, and they look after, they've got some big contracts nationwide. So I kind of just went from one position to another, and then I took a couple of risks, and I ended up where I am now. And I went across as a project manager on the construction side of the business, and then I kind of fell into a position as an account manager, which is a bit of a step aside, but it's more client-facing based. You look after a lot of the contracts, the ins and outs. So, for instance, we've got a 5-year contract with some of the southeastern Sydney hospitals, which is a big collective group of them, and you got the service and the maintenance, and it's a compliance-driven industry. It has to comply with Australian standards. Otherwise, for insurance reasons, it's not covered and things like that. So, and compliance is always changing. The environment's always changing and things like that. So, and then I'm currently a project manager / account manager for the company, and I really enjoy it. I think you go from project management to people management, and I think that suits me. So, I
think people management suits you.
I love it. Yeah.
You're not shy of a conversation, and you're not. You're happy. I want to ask you, you never seem negative, or you never seem down.
Yeah.
Where you always seem positive. Is that conscious? Where does that come from?
Yeah, I think it is conscious. Like one of the even I was talking to one of the boys the other day, like this whole situation happened, and by like 12 o'clock next day, I think I had an assault bike, a rower, gym gear, and there's no days off. Like, if I sit around and I let things get to me or situations get to me, the world goes on around you. It doesn't stop.
It's not stopping.
You can sit in that corner for 3 days and that don't stop. So I think that having that work rate and that work ethic, that you just keep going.
Yes.
And then you can only do what you can do. There's only 24 hours in a day, and I think sometimes work does demand quite a lot from you. But if you break it down into smaller pieces and you just achieve things one by one, and having that positive outlook, I always try and that's why with the boys especially too. Like, some days no one feels like training, and you G them up, and everyone comes in around you. But I also feed off other people's energy too.
Yes.
So I try and create a positive environment for my friends and my family, and then when they're happy, you're happy, and everything works like that. That's another way I look at it.
Yeah. Have you ever had anything in life happen to you where it's sort of given you a perspective on just be positive in life?
I think I guess relationship breakdowns and things like that, and you think if maybe your first breakup, you think it's the worst thing in the world.
Yeah. Okay.
And then 3 months later or something, like, you just couldn't care. And I think having older friends, looking at something that I can't remember, someone told me years ago, it was like, what worries you now would not even be a blip on a radar in 10 years. And that was like so true. You look at it now and you think, but then your whole world when you're 19 is this. You know, when you're 25, it's dramatically increased, and then when you're 30, it's well, not 30 yet, but like it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger in perspective, and a lot more to think about. I think you stop being so self-centered. So, but that's where those teenage years and everything, that's where you're fun, and you're able to make those mistakes and well, not so much mistakes, but you're able to make those decisions, and the consequences aren't quite there. If you stuff up when you're 28 or 29 or 30, that you got more responsibility. Everything else is possibly at risk for that.
There's more consequences.
Huge.
Yeah. And the consequences can be bigger. Like, you might have a family, you might have a business.
Well, you accumulate things over your life.
Yes.
And that's whether it be relationships or material things. And when you're 17, you're just fresh to the world. Like, you go primary school, and then you go to high school, you're new, and then you go into the workforce and you're new, and then from there, you just every year it just seems like, I bought a house now. I'm like, okay, I got to learn to cook. And everything's just new constantly, and I think I enjoy learning. I really enjoy learning. That's like with the podcast as well. Like, I think after you leave school, like I went into the trade. I actually went to university first, so I studied forensic science for a year, and I figured it wasn't quite in line with what I wanted to do later on. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed science. So
that would have been too quiet for you, mate.
Oh, it was.
Forensic
science.
Too quiet.
I definitely stood out. I think I was sitting there, just wanting to do something, and I enjoyed school. I really enjoyed school, and I didn't want to leave, and I excelled at school, and then I went on to uni, and then I got an opportunity, I guess, in a year later for a family member that was high up in a company with Sydney Water, and I got to be an apprentice, and they paid well, and you got to give it a vehicle.
So you did your apprenticeship through Sydney Water?
Yeah, I did my apprenticeship through Sydney Water for 3 years, and then left there, and just kind of got into luxury automation of houses. So your bigger houses in your more affluent areas, in Mosmans and that. And
how'd you get into that?
So, because you're an electrician, and like electrical has many different doors you can walk through. So automation is a lot of programming and system control. So if you do.
Sorry, did you get into that after Sydney Water?
Yeah, after Sydney Water.
Okay, right. How did Sydney Water?
No, it was like, because of Sydney Water, you deal a lot with. There is automation, and there's SCADA systems and different things in place. And I kind of just took I'll try this.
A liking to it?
Yeah, and then I went to that, and then.
So then you got into the automation.
Yeah, the high-end automation. That's awesome. So it's just, the more money the client has, the more extravagant the features, and you wake up, the guys would have it so they'd set scenes in a house where you press one button and be a party scene, and all the outside lights would go to 50%, the music would come on, and this is all controlled from your phone. And nowadays you can kind of get apps to do it, but these systems are hardwired, and houses overlooking beaches, and so it was good. It was good exposure to see to that and to learn.
What sort of money are we talking about with that?
Oh, for just the electrical systems, a couple $100,000, $500,000, depending on the size of the house and bigger. And that's where I kind of branched off into fire automation, because it was another avenue of automation. I thought I was always a decent sparky, but I was better at organising people and jobs and kind of like documentation, because I do have a bit of OCD. You haven't kind of worked that out yet also. That I'm very well organised with things and kind of just led hand in hand. So I realised that you can be a good sparky and be on your tools all your life. And I was thinking about going to open my own business, start up, because I had quite a lot of work on the outside, and then I just kind of went down the other avenue as a career man, and then now I am with the company, and I'm studying, doing a Bachelor of Project Management. Okay. So they paid for that. So
who are you doing that through?
That's through a private correspondence thing. So the work's paid for that, which is good. So it keeps me a bit accountable for them, and they put trust in me. And there's 3 people in our company in Australia that were chosen to undertake it. So,
wow.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to come back to the question where you said before I fell into the role of what you're in now. What do you mean by you fell into it, or did they come and approach you to do it?
The role I'm in now, well, I guess for me to be so young at the previous company and be the head of their construction at 26, 27, and have guys that were twice my age under me, and it always made it interesting, because you'd go to meetings and things and people go, "Where's your boss?" I'm like, "I am the boss." I'm like, and someone I'm like, oh.
How did you feel about that?
I took it as a challenge.
Yeah.
Like, because I remember one time one guy said to me, he goes, "Oh, how old are you?" I was like, "I'm 27." And he's like, my youngest son's older than you. I was like, "How old is your son?" He's like, "Oh, he's 34." And I was like, "Piece of paper's still the same. That's the plan. Do the job." Some guys I found that were resentful because they felt like they wanted to.
I could see they would be.
But they're in their 40s and whatnot, but they never ever tried to progress. I think you got to take risks. And like, I went from company to company. I'm like, I was there for a couple of years, and I seen someone else would poach me, and then I'd go from here to here, and that's and then where I ended up now, there was another guy in a position, and I was kind of next in line, and he moved on from that position. So it was like, oh, we'll give you a try at it, and it's good. So I kind of wearing 2 hats, getting another, and I want to go into like business development later on, and we've got an avenue in our company that has that. I've got a couple of good guys, and I'm trying to work in with them at the moment. So I've asked for like extra work. Show me what you do, how you do it, because in 5 years, if something comes up, once I'm finished with doing this role and I'm learning a bit more, I've got some runs on the board. Yeah. So yeah.
Do you feel patient? Like, or are you is there a place that you're trying to get to as quick as you can, or are you just going day by day?
In saying that, I've realised I've got to finish the degree.
Yeah.
And then I've also...
How much longer have you got for that?
Another 3 years.
Yeah.
So I'm only a year into it. Oh, not even a year into it.
Yeah.
And then with that, I've also got to be... You can't buy experience. So I've got to do a bit more experience. And for my position at work, I'm the youngest by 15, 20 years. There's 5 of us. So you look at all those guys, they're all a lot older than me. I think, wow, like, I don't want to be where you are in 20 years. I want to go to next. But I know I've got to be patient. I've got to learn a bit more. And so just keep doing the right things. And if you're good at your job, you're never out of work. So
100%. And I was going to say, I don't think, like, it's never really by accident. Like, they've obviously identified qualities in you to be able to say, okay, well, you're next in line. He left. Well, okay, instead of going out and
outsourcing,
they've identified the qualities in you to be able to do the role. And so, you've taken that chance by the scruff of the neck. And obviously, I can see if I was, in a position of allocating, the resources, I would want you in what you're doing around people rather than just construction, because you can see that would benefit the company having...
And I get to wear 2 hats at the moment, so it benefits me also because I'm still doing the course, but I'm also getting exposure to that. I think I will go down that other avenue a lot more. I will a lot more client-based and working on tenders and proposals and things, and I enjoy it. So it was a big change in the role. I went from being out on site 70% of the time, 30% in the office, to completely the other way around, like probably in the office 70% now, so it's good.
What have you found the hardest about people management?
Every person's different. Sometimes people just need a hug and be told that they're doing good. You can't please everyone. And then sometimes
they need a punch in the face.
Yeah, that's it. I think like with scheduling and promises and builders and things like that, sometimes you've got to rob Peter to pay Paul. You know, you tell someone one thing and they expect that's going to happen, but they want it done now, and then you might have to allocate people over here as well. It's hard to keep everyone happy.
Yeah.
Someone's always going to lose out, but then that's where people, if you've got a good relationship, they can be a bit more lenient.
Yeah.
So if you don't have a good relationship with some clients, then they're not going to help you. So that's where people management comes in.
Yeah, yeah. It's really understanding what the overall vision and purpose is.
Yep.
And then understanding what the individual's purpose and vision is, and trying to align those.
And everyone has bad days.
And yeah, it's really such a rewarding, brutal experience managing people.
It is. I think in that position where you said everyone has bad days, you really can't have a bad day. You have to be on.
Yeah.
And that's where I'll probably align a little bit better with it. So,
is there anything that you do to look after your own mental well-being?
Yeah, come train here.
Yeah.
Come train here, and then I got a life outside of CrossFit as well. Like a lot of friends, and I'm always doing something. I think you'd see on the weekends I've always got something on, and so surround yourself with good people and
social connection.
Yeah, which I find very hard at the moment. So I'm trying to do video conference calls there to a lot of people at the moment. They don't want to do it with me, so I just miss that interaction. So I got off one yesterday and I said, "Can we do this again tomorrow?" No, we'll talk to you in a week.
What are you doing at 2 o'clock this afternoon?
Yeah, that's it. I'm like, I'll still be here. And so with that, or I'll just go out and wait for someone else. I'm like, come train. Like, can you get here quick? So I'm still getting that fixed, which is good.
Yeah, working, training, trying to socialise, uni now, is being organised, is that helping you?
Yeah, heaps.
Yeah,
heaps. Still
that's a lot going on.
Yeah, and I don't feel overloaded as much as probably I did a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
I feel like because I was going into new roles a couple of years ago, and now I'm a little bit more, once the dust settles, a bit more acclimatised to it. So
yeah. So from the outside, when you come bounding in here and you're full of energy and people think, oh, he's got ADHD and you're just getting into everything. In your mind, are you calm? Like from the outside, it looks like it's just like a scattergun approach, but do you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
But in your mind, are you?
I think I just get excited. Like I'm just excited to be back around everyone at the end of the day. Like, but I'm like that at work. I walk into the office. And I think that's the big thing with training here so early. I'm 2 hours ahead of everyone.
Yeah.
I read something the other week. It was like, a lot of those, like the top 10 entrepreneurs and wealthy people in those positions, like Jeff Bezos and all that, they all get up at 5 a.m. in the morning. And the reason is they get an extra 30 hours a week. Yeah. Over a year, that's an extra month or whatever. That's a lot of extra time. And it's a lot more time to do stuff. So if you get up that early and you come here and you train, and then I'm going to work, I'm already 2 hours ahead. I'm already thinking about things. I've answered emails. So I get to work and I've got people walk in and they're half asleep still, and I'm usually first out the door in the afternoon because I'm done.
Yes.
I start early. I start early because I finish early, but it just gives me that. Like right now, getting up at 7, I still feel a bit lazy.
Yep.
I feel a bit lazy, and on my days it doesn't quite click on. As much as winter, getting up in the morning is a pain in the ass, but then that becomes where your mental side kicks in, where you got to force yourself or you push yourself to get up. And yeah. Is
there any, like maybe top 3 people that you follow or you on social media or you look to, like?
Yeah, David Goggins. I think David Goggins is
an animal. Hey,
huge.
If you don't know David Goggins, Google him and follow him on social media.
David Goggins is just like that. There's been a couple of mornings where I'm like, I don't want to train, and I'm like, I'll go onto his page and like he puts something up. I'm like, I'll run through my door. I'm like, you posted in the boys group chat, and some people don't want to train you. They all turn up, and just sometimes hearing that outside of your friend group or having someone just a little bit more of an influence, you're like, you know what, like if I sleep in for another half hour, what's it going to give me? Like if I've got a good enough sleep the night before. Do
you sleep well?
Yeah. Sleep like a baby. Like I'm usually in bed.
What time do you go to bed?
9:30.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe a little. Like I'm usually laying on the lounge or in bed by 9.
Yeah.
So I get a good sleep. I should take like melatonin tablets.
Yeah. Okay.
And lately I've been taking like an adrenal switch thing, which I just heard in a podcast. and it just helps you switch off at night and relaxes you, and it's better for muscle recovery and things. And I think that's how sometimes I do get a good sleep, and I'm able to come and I train in the morning and train in the afternoon and go do something else. And I think like I don't really take days off. I'm always just, because I'm at home and I'm bored. Yeah, like I want to be doing something, so I'm always able to do that. So I think I look after myself enough to a degree that I'm able to maintain that level and always try and be on.
That's awesome. So David Goggins.
Yeah, David Goggins. I think Joe Rogan's another one, because I think I was talking about before, about when you leave school, if you don't go study or do something else, you stop learning. So if for instance, if you left school and you got a job and that job was very monotonous, and you did that every day for the next 10 years, what did you learn? There's a lot more outside of that. So if you, like I'm at work, I put on a podcast, and then from there you go on another podcast, and you might learn things about stuff that you had never had any idea. Like I listened to one podcast with Joe Rogan about coyotes. Never even seen a coyote, but I'm pretty much an expert on it now. But you just keep learning. You just learn, and you hear different people's experiences in their life, and I think sometimes some of the things that they've gone through and how they got through it, and that's probably another way I try and always have that positive outlook, because you hear on other people's stories and you're like, oh, they come through that, and that's 100 times worse. Even though everything's relative perspective for yourself, there's always someone going through worse and has come through worse, and I think just constantly learning. And you look at how such a wide variety of people.
Oh mate, it's probably my number one
incredible
person that I follow and look for their content, Joe Rogan, because you can, there's 3-hour podcasts on archaeology, or American politics, or someone that's trekked through Cambodia, or someone that's a virus expert, or through to talking about cryptocurrency.
And you get exposed to that, and it's at your fingertips. And it's at your fingertips every day, and you're like, well, I wasn't listening to that, I was listening to the radio, which I used to do. And I was like, but now I feel like I'm just constantly just taking in wealth, because it is technologies at your fingertips, and you can go, I'm going to listen to this, and then I'm going to go listen to that one, and I might do another sport and podcast. And so I think taking knowledge from that and drive, and then a third person. Would have to be just someone, I can't remember exactly what it would be, just for high work ethic. I think some of the athletes that you follow, like as a collective group, you see the ones who really excel, and how
just them bits and pieces from everyone.
You look at them, and some of those guys who don't have a day off, and they're just always going, and it just proves you can go do that. And then I don't think I enjoy feeding kind of off that energy. So.
If there's one other person in the world who has done what you want to do, or has experienced what you are going through, it's been done before, it's possible. So whatever is preventing you is an excuse.
Massively.
To a large degree, obviously there's some limitations with genetics and et cetera, or some circumstances, but there's always an example out there of why you can be better.
You got to put yourself in a position. You got to take risks. So that's what I've probably been my downfall in my art rise. And I think when I was younger, I took a fair few. You always I don't really say no to much.
But risks are life.
For sure.
And life is lessons. Whether however it turns out, good or bad, it's a lesson.
Accumulation of lessons.
What's the best? What's the risk that you've taken that's paid off, and you just
So a couple of years ago, I went to Europe. Was going there for a wedding. Had a bucks party in Amsterdam, which led to Ibiza, and then we went to the wedding, and we were on a little. Me and one of my best mates were on a little propeller plane off the island. So it was an island called. I can't remember what the island was. It was a little Greek. It wasn't one of the big ones. It was the guy. One of my friends married a Greek girl, and her family was from there. And we got to Athens airport, and we had nowhere to go, because we just the rest of our next 4 weeks wasn't locked in, apart from Tomorrowland. And we were there at 6 in the morning, and the how the flights flip over. So you see what flights are coming through next. Well, we didn't know where we were going, and then there's Malta comes up, and I was like, okay, cool. And I was like, then Cairo. I was like, okay, like, there's that, and there was something else, and we kind of narrowed it down to like, oh, let's flip a coin. So it's Cairo or it's Malta.
You're joking.
Nah, yeah, we flipped a coin and went to Cairo, and there's two. We're pretty haggard by that stage. We've been partying for like 4 weeks. So we're like, right, we went up to the counter, we booked, like, we're going to Cairo, and this lady's like, yeah, took our money. We jumped on the plane and we just flew to Cairo, and I remember ringing, so I rang my dad as we were waiting for the plane. I was like, he's just checking in on me.
Yeah.
He's like, what are you doing? I'm like, about to fly to Egypt. And he's like, just brain explosion. Like, what are you doing? I'm like, no, it'll be right. And like,
Just with your luggage, that's all you had?
Just with my luggage, yeah. And mind you, my friends had never travelled before. So he's been away, everything's all new to him. And I'm like, no, we'll be right, we'll do this. And we fly into Cairo, and you're flying over the parts of the desert kind of when you get in there and out the window. You're like, it is a movie. It is the biggest kind of mind-blowing place you could go to. We get out of the airport and we're walking through. At that time, actually, if you remember, there was a lot of political unrest in Turkey. Belgium had the car bombings, and there was a lot of terrorist kind of things. So Egypt was a red zone. You weren't allowed to.
How long ago was this?
2018.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So only recently, yeah.
Yeah, 2018. Yeah, it would have been. And it was so Turkey had that issue where the government. Remember, the government was fighting against the people, and you couldn't quite fly through there. My actual flight on the way home from Europe got cancelled because I was meant to stop in Turkey. So that's another part of the story at the end. And so we're flying into Egypt this time. I think we're the only two white guys on the plane. Everyone's looking at you. And I'm pretty sure in that culture, you've got to wear like long longs.
And you wouldn't have been quiet either.
Oh no, we didn't sleep from the wedding. So we'd drunk from Greece at the airport. We kept drinking.
Yeah.
We were in shorts and singlets, and we're flying into to Cairo, and we get off and we're going to go through customs, and we're like, well, you meant to have some, I think, like a visa-ish type thing to go there at that time, especially, but we didn't have it, so they pulled us into a room at the side to have a chat to us about what we're doing. We didn't even have accommodation.
Yeah.
And we're like, where are you staying? We're like, we don't know.
Oh mate, you're red flagged everywhere.
Yeah, 100%. And then we didn't have a flight out of the country either.
Oh.
No, so to them it looks like we're just going there, like we're just a couple of rag-and-tag dudes.
Did they x-ray your guts to see how many balloons of heroin you're carrying?
We got sussed out, and then we had to pay all this money to get like a visa thing sorted, and we went through, and then went downstairs, and this bloke come up to us, is like, I need to see your passports and this, and this, and we're like, okay. Show him the, I said, wait, I want to see you. What are you? Like, he was meant to be some tourist, like an officer. Like, he was helping you get your bags. Ended up being a scam artist who took us outside. We thought we were going to a taxi rank. We went 3 streets away in Cairo, in this city that's exactly what you think it is. And then they put us into this car, and this car took us. We told them the hotel we were staying at, because we had to book a hotel and everything in front of the people and the airport. And I fell asleep. My mate's nudging me, and he's like, mate, wake up, and what's going on? Like, we're going through a section where Cairo had actually had been like, the people of Egypt had like a bit of unrest, with political unrest of their own government. Yeah. So there was parts of buildings and everything that were like war torn, and we're going,
Jeez.
So that was only recently, and I'm like, where the fuck are we? Like, what are we doing? We ended up getting to the hotel. The hotel had the bomb dogs come out. And this is like, and I'm like, they went over the car, and they x-ray your bags before you walk into the hotel. I ended up paying I paid the first guy the money for the taxi instead of the taxi guy. Oh. So he wanted money, and then we had a big argument in the main lobby of this hotel, and he said a couple of nasty things and was going to come get us and this, and then we got locked in our rooms that night. We had a big a meeting with management, and it was like, you guys aren't allowed out. Like, don't go out at night time. You know, it's not safe here at the moment. Blah blah blah. And then my friend, like, he's like, that's it. I'm going. I'm getting the next flight out of here. And the flight he wanted, I think it was like a 12-hour round trip to get back to where he wanted to go. And I'm like, no, I'm staying. Man. Like, we were staying across the road from the pyramids, because where the pyramids stop, there's just a freeway, and then the town starts, or the city.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you can Google it. It's surreal that they built a city on the edge of like this, where the Sphinx is.
Yep.
So it's just one road, and I'm like, you can see it right there. And so I ended up convincing him to stay, and then we went and did like a big tour. You're actually able to climb on top of the pyramids to a certain degree. You can't go all the way to the top, but we went there early in the morning the next day, and we were in the pyramids. You can climb on. There's photos on my Instagram where you're sitting on the big blocks. You can go see the Sphinx, and then we went to like the Egypt History Museum, which should be in the museum itself. It's that old, and it's just, you got to see the mummies and things like that. It was crazy. So that paid off for taking that risk there. And
wow.
Yeah, it was just, we're there for 3 days, and it was just like you were in the movies the whole time, and it was so surreal.
3 days in Egypt.
3 days in Egypt, and then we flew from there to...
Were you ever really scared, worried?
Yeah, one stage with my friend was that's it, he's gone, he's out of here, and this, and I think I've been to Bali and Thailand before, so I'm used to people scamming you, or trying to. So you're a bit more, but then you're in a very different situation when you're over there. And then once kind of all the smoke settled and we're on the plane away, they're like, that was pretty crazy, eh? And my parents were off me being there. I actually went live on Facebook. I had better reception next to the pyramids than I do in Londonderry. I remember going live, and I was actually wearing like the high jib, so I borrowed the guys. I traded him actually my hat for the guy who carried, like he walks, he does the camel kind of thing. You hire a camel off him and he walks you around the pyramids, and
fair income.
Yeah, and I'm wearing his high jib, and I was like going live on Facebook. So it was just a time, like an absolute time.
Yeah,
it was.
What's your opinion on the pyramids? Like, are they from aliens? Were they built by an ancient civilization? Like, being there,
you go there and you see them, and I would love to have gone there when I was probably starting high school-ish, around that time you start learning really about what Egypt is and you in history and things like that, because as a kid it would really, like, it blows you away as an adult, but I think seeing that, being a kid and still having that, you know, the world's a different place when you're a kid. Your outlook on the world, I think seeing that would be mind-blowing. You'd be like, but when you're an adult and you listen to the podcast on there's a Graham Hancock, you know, and he backdates the pyramids even further because of the water line on them and things like that. And it's kind of hard. Like, you think those size of those blocks, and they had to individually cart those blocks down from Alexandria up the top of Egypt on the Nile and build them one by one. And there's like 1 million blocks at each one or something. And to say that they can't even build them in this day and age.
What's your gut feel about it?
I think a lot of slaves built it. I don't think anything's possible, but you don't know, and how they're all positioned, and I think they imitate the stars above or something as well. And there's too many conspiracy theories about it. I think I went there, I seen him, and it just in my mind that it was awesome. It was the best place. That or Switzerland, I think, is the best place where you stand there, and you're like, wow, this is real. Yeah.
So that was my next question. Where else have you been? So Switzerland.
Yeah. So I flew from there.
What did you love about that?
You stood on in those mountain valleys when you're in the Swiss Alps, and it just doesn't look real. Like, you go to the Blue Mountains here and everything, not taking anything away from it, because it is nice, but it's another world. It's like straight out of a fairy tale. You kind of stand in the bottom of a valley, and there's waterfalls, and people are hang gliding across the valleys, and that was probably I think you stand there and you just admire the beauty of the place.
Yeah, those pictures where people use as inspirational quotes, and that scenery's in the background.
That is that. Yeah. And I actually, so my bucket list was, one of the things on my bucket list, I flew from Egypt so I ticked that off. And I went to party on
Thanks to a flip of a coin.
Yeah, flip of a coin. So, and I realised at that stage too, if you ever flip a coin and you hope it lands on something, that's what you want to do.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
That's what I've kind of been always like, well, I'll flip a coin, I really hope it lands on heads. Well, I'm not even going to flip the coin, I'm going to go do that. So
did you ever get to Malta?
No, never. That might be next trip.
Sorry, Tommy.
Yeah. So, well, I live pretty close to Landilo and everything else, so I kind of imagined it. I don't think there's any more guys left over there. They're all over here now.
Is there anyone in Malta?
I'm not sure. It might just be a party. Apparently it's pretty good to party.
Yeah.
But then I was in EOS, and then some of the boys had got tired of partying, and I was like, well, I still want to party, but if you guys aren't going to do anything, I wanted to skydive in the Swiss Alps. So I got on a plane.
You did that?
Yeah, I went by myself. Lost my wallet the day before in EOS, so it made it very, very hard because I couldn't pull money out. So I transferred my friend all the money, got him to pull the cash out, flew to Switzerland, and I got there and I didn't realise.
You're on your own, travelling with nothing but cash.
Nothing but cash, yeah.
Mate, do you know how many red flags you're setting off around on customs?
Not just cash though. I didn't realise Swiss were franc, not euro. So I've gone there with all this euro. I'm ready to go. I've looked up this. I'm meant to be on a train up into the Alps. It's like a 5-hour trip, and I've got there and I missed the train. So I had to try and spend a night in. I can't remember I can't remember what city it was in Switzerland. It's not Geneva. It's one of the other ones.
I have no idea.
Yeah, it's like one of the bigger airports, and so I had to just get like this Formula One type hotel for the night, and then be on this first train up into the Alps next day, and then I'm on the train, I'm going up there, and I finally get up to the very top peak of where the Alps are, and then you have to get off a train, and there's no cars or like trucks or anything because you're so high up in the mountains. You've got these little, you either got a horse and cart type looking thing, or these little moped looking to take me up to my hotel room, and then the hotel room there was overlooking the whole valley, and
wow.
So it kind of paid off again. I was like, oh, this is another risk I've taken, and all I wanted to do was go skydiving over the Alps, because as you can imagine, it's just spectacular.
Yeah.
And then so the next day I booked that in, and then I actually got to go on a helicopter instead. So I jumped out of a helicopter over the Alps.
You're joking.
Yeah, I'll show you some photos of it later. And
what was that like?
So you stand on the edge of a helicopter on the, I don't know what you call them, but the things they land
just
on.
The steps,
The steps, and you're hanging out the side.
Yeah.
And you're overlooking the Swiss Alps. So it is what you imagine, and it's just nothing like it.
How high are you?
What are they? I think they're 20,000 feet when you usually jump. So there was a couple other guys in there that were in their wingsuits, and they jumped out first. Until you just seen them just shoot out, and then you're like, we actually got the backflip.
That is nuts.
Off the helicopter. So when you go out, the blades are above you. So it's just the sensation of that sound and everything happening, and that's probably the best thing I reckon I've ever done. By far. Like I still get goosebumps thinking about it now.
What an adrenaline rush.
That, and then have
So
you heard the difference?
You got tandem? Or was you...
No, it was tandem there. It was tandem with the guy,
so-
but he let me. He goes, I just got talking to him the whole time. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, do you want to?
I find that hard to believe.
Yeah, he's like, do you want a backflip? Mate, let's do it. Let's do a backflip off this thing. And but have you heard about how people think that bungee jumping's scarier than skydiving?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Like last year when I went to New Zealand, I did that bungee that was in between the two mountains, and being on the edge of that, standing there by yourself, having to throw yourself over the edge, and you could see the ground, is a totally different sensation.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
that was like,
Because there's probably not a lot of, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of time.
oh nah.
Like probably skydiving, you've got time.
Well, you're up for a while and
Yeah.
you're free falling, and it's adrenaline rush nonetheless. But when you're bungee jumping, it's so, especially from that height, because you actually got to go out in the cable car, stand on the edge, and then when they kind of gently,
Oh my God.
they gently like throw the rope down, and the rope's got like a big buoy type thing that connects to your legs, and then you can feel that weight pull you over.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I'm all for it. Like, I'm ready to go. I'm ready. The guy's holding me, and he's holding onto the thing behind. And he's like, on 3, and I'm like, if you get to 3, I'm not going. So I jumped at that time, and it was, just incredible. But when you hit the bottom, it's actually connected to your waist. So you free fall like T-bar. You go up and down, and then you go up, throw halfway. And then on the third one, they tell you got to reach down, you got to do a reverse sit-up and unpin your legs. So when you unpin your legs, you actually do like a complete 180. So it feels like you've disconnected yourself from the line.
Oh my God.
So you get this whole drop again, and then like
I'm panicking here just listening to it.
So yeah, that's what I think. Like bungee jumping is way worse than what skydiving was, for the adrenaline rush. But yeah, glad you did it. But I like to think that if I was on the edge again, it'd still be the same.
Yeah. Wow. Would you consider yourself an adrenaline junkie?
Yeah. I think so. Like I kind of like, I do want to go do.
What's next?
In South Africa, there's a bridge, and that bridge is the highest bungee jump in the world. So there's that, and then a great white shark diving in Adelaide, in the Calypso. I want to do that. There's a couple of things like that. Yeah.
That's in okay.
Calypso, I think, is the company that does it down there. Whether you did that in South Africa or not, you might be able to tick 2 off as well. Do the bridge and
well, South Africa is the place for that.
Yeah. So that's
great whites and
the bungee and I just don't know about the regulations over there. If they're as stringent as Australia and things. So
do you know? I know quite a few South Africans, or in my life I've come across where some had been friends with them, and how they live over there. So the crime and
huge.
Life's cheap.
And it's white and black over there, isn't it?
White and black,
Yeah, it is, yeah.
To a point where one of them was telling me a story where they sleep with a firearm under their pillow, and it is a shoot first, ask later situation. He heard a noise in his house, and he got up.
It's not Oscar Pistorius, your friend, is it?
And he fired a shot into the hallway of his house, and he
could have been anyone.
It could have been anyone.
Yeah, right.
But that's how you shoot first. That's how bad it is over there. Yeah,
that's crazy.
That's how they live.
I wonder what that's like now in current times with the isolation and things like that. Like I guess what they live like. and how do you rule that?
Yeah.
Or how do you come across and say you can't do this like there?
Yeah.
It's a pretty loose kind of way of living over there.
Absolutely. Do you have any fears? Speaking of adrenaline, or are you scared of anything?
It's your typical usual ones, like your heights and that. I think I've bypassed that now.
Yeah, I was gonna.
No, I'm saying like your usual ones, which is snakes and your spiders.
Yeah.
I don't know, like I don't like spiders, but they don't like. It's not like I'm terrified of them.
Yeah.
I heard Sam Hollis say sharks. I think if you're in the water, like
take him to South Australia with you.
Yeah, 100%. But then I want to go. Yeah, I don't know. There's nothing I've probably come across yet that I've got a general phobia of.
Yep.
So
cool. That's good.
which is. But I guess I'll walk into something next week now. I'll be able to ring you back up. It's got to,
I found what I'm scared of.
I found what I'm scared of. Yeah, that's it.
What do you do to relax?
So my idea of relaxing is, I think, very different to other people.
What is your idea of relaxing and
like doing something and having fun in the joint? That's my idea of relaxing. I think like a lot of my friends will be like, why don't you just stay home, or why are you always doing something? I was like, I think staying home on the lounge or just chilling out watching a movie, I can't sit still.
Yeah.
So my idea of, I guess, me time or whatever, or is being social and enjoying, and that's relaxing for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So and that's I think some people find it hard because some people go home and sit on the lounge and relax for a couple of hours and watch a movie or do nothing, and I'm like, it's just not in me.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you find anything? Are there any? I guess what's stress to you? Is there any circumstances where you think, nah, this is like
when you take
stressful?
too much on? I think sometimes when you might underestimate what your workload is you're currently taking on, and then it all slowly comes in. You know, everything comes at once. Yeah, and then but that's probably because you've overloaded yourself. You think you can do, and then I think as you get older, you realise you don't have to please everyone. Where if you previously I was always yes, do everything.
Yeah,
and then soon enough, like you run out of time, or and you can't please everyone, and by saying no, sometimes you might alleviate that stress.
Yep.
So,
mate, isolation this time has really, I've thought about that a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of my issues come from trying to please everyone.
Yep.
And I'm not going to do that anymore. So that's something that's going to change me from this. It's just giving me a lot of time to sit and think. So yeah, like hearing you say that, it's resonated with me.
I think I said it to boys the other day, I was like, there's not one time in life so far that I've encountered that it is mandatory to relax. That the world has gone, no, you are not doing all these other things and it makes you think, how busy were you really before?
Yeah.
How much stuff did you really have to do?
Yeah.
Because now I've actually taken time and I have relaxed and I've got more time to be at home and do those things, and I'm like, okay, this is what relaxing is. I think I've actually become accustomed to it.
Yeah.
So I might come out of this different as well, where before I was always so go because maybe I was always just on that wavelength. But now I'm like, I can just sit down and relax, and I don't have to do that extra training session, or I don't have to go here or there. And I think it's in a way, apart from all the businesses that have been affected, that it might be a blessing in disguise. It might have saved a lot of people from crashing and burning too early.
Yeah. And being caught in just that grind or turmoil of day-to-day doing stuff for the sake of doing stuff.
Yeah, or they might be in situations that they didn't want to be in, and this gave them an opportunity to exit. Huge.
Yes.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, 100%. I think there's going to be a lot of businesses and people that come out of this in a, like you were saying before, a better place.
Yeah, you'd hope so.
Yeah, definitely.
And if you don't, you've done something wrong with 3 months.
Yeah, definitely.
You're wasting time. It's still 3 months of your time. You can be productive or not.
Yeah.
So,
what made you buy a house? Because you've recently bought
the
one.
The subtle hints from the parents for the last 5 years.
When are you going to get out?
Yeah, when are you going to get out? So when they stop cooking me dinner. No, it was something that was always on the cards, and I was looking to do it probably earlier than what I did, but with the current environment as to what the house market was over like 3 to 4 years ago, you couldn't afford to.
Yeah.
And buying a house by myself on one wage, in the market it was in say 2018 and things like that, it was like, it was almost unachievable for what I wanted to, especially because I wanted to stay in the Hawkesbury initially. So, and I wanted to buy a house. I didn't want to buy a unit, and plus I travelled a fair bit as well outside the other stories. I still had the luxury and my freedom to do that. So rather than go, I might not buy a house this year, I might go do that 5-week or 6-week trip to Europe. And so you do dip into some of your where that funds could have been allocated towards the house. I didn't. But then I'm here now with a house, and I've got those experiences.
Oh, definitely, mate.
I was able to have my cake and eat it too, which is good.
So you bought in McGrath's Hill?
Bought in McGrath's Hill, just a street over from Braden Wheeler, actually. I think it's a bit suspicious he's been coming past lately, walking his dog. I think he's counting me reps. So when I leave the roller door open.
What's he doing in there?
Yeah, what's he doing around there? So, no, it's good. So I've done a session with him and vice versa. And,
good.
It's good. It's a good little town. I think that a lot of young families in there. I think they use that as a stepping stone into like your pit towns and your bigger properties later on. So it's good because a lot of my street is full of young people or young families, and a lot of my friends actually live in the surrounding street, so it saved me a lot of money on Ubers home on a Saturday night. So it's been a plus.
Mate, I live up at Currajong, and a lot of
What's Uber?
I don't do a lot of stuff because, you go out and socialise and have a few drinks because I can't get home.
Yeah, you got to get the last flight up there.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I think McGrath's Hill, mate, that's a perfect spot to buy, like, all the development on the back of Rouse Hill, in the Box Hill, McGrath's Hill as a commercial hub. Like,
have you seen that in behind the Maccas, there was always that big area that there was nothing doing? Well, they got a UFC gym going in there, a movie theatre, like a ribs and burgers, and they've got a little shopping complex going in. So that's already started development for that. They bulldozed it and got the signs up, and I was like, oh, well, that's coming pretty close, and that development all the way down Windsor Road now. So I think it will end at McGrath's Hill, and McGrath's Hill will be in the older original suburb, and eventually maybe that might be developed out. So So.
What do you think of this? If we outgrow this space here, there's a lot of bigger spaces for similar rent that are available in McGrath's Hill, South Windsor.
Do you really want to see me anymore than you already do? If you had a bed here, I probably would just make it easier to stay here.
You never know, we might end up closer to you.
Yeah, well, that's it. I think you were looking at somewhere previously.
Yeah. So we looked at a really big place at South Windsor. And it had, so this place here, you take out the stairs and the toilets and stuff were about 220 square metres. Whereas like the actual floor space, wall to walls, 255. So about 200, 220. But that place was, the actual gym floor would have been 500 square metres.
Perfect.
And then it had offices to do, have a podcast room, physio, Tommy, an upstairs and downstairs physio room. You could have had, had its own car park with 27 car spaces. Anyway, that fell through, but
He's still looking.
Yeah, so looking just, I think now
You're on the verge of, are we growing too big for this here?
We're probably, we can definitely make it work for a lot longer. But what it means is, as we get bigger classes more regularly, like, 30 plus in a class on a Saturday morning, it's pretty hectic, but we make it work by having pairs and triples. But some classes, that's why we split the 6 a.m. class, because it's getting 24, 27 people. That becomes too much. Not only for safety, but the coach
standpoint,
for the coach trying to manage 27 people. And then you've got other people doing open gym as well. So some afternoons, you can have 12 to 15, 16 in a class plus 8 people doing open gym. That's when it gets a bit, we need more space.
How many people do you get through here on a day collectively, all classes together?
So around 70 to between 60 and 75 people every day.
Every day out of
125.
Yeah, okay. So you're always getting over half, basically. Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, which is, if you're actually getting 50 to 70% of your membership coming every day, you're
Yep.
doing something right. If you're doing 70+% of your membership coming every day, it's phenomenal.
Yep.
For example, at the uni gym, we're probably only getting 10% of our membership coming, 15% each day.
Each day.
So to have 50 to 70% is really good.
And you do notice your high periods after
Yeah.
Christmas, your New Year's resolutions,
Yeah.
and then coming closer to summers and things like that.
Yeah,
So,
September's a big month because
Yeah.
it's sort of starting to come out of winter and then starting to warm up heading into summer. But yeah, get back to the original question. I think this shutdown has delayed that move or that thinking of moving that we needed to move.
Yeah.
I think we're just going to we need to reopen and then see how the trend is of how many members are going to come back, and then what's normal going to look like on the other side of this.
what's 120 members at your door on the first day open going to look like? But I
Jeez,
think everyone would be nice.
chaos,
So, yeah, chaos.
But we could, I think the only reason we would move is to create more opportunities. Like,
Yeah.
for example, we only can do CrossFit here. If
Yeah.
we had a bigger space, we could possibly run, we could possibly have a separate area and run yoga
Yeah.
or boxing, or we could, have not be upstairs for physio. We could have physio, massage, have a permanent podcast set up. So looking for more space is just looking for more opportunity to provide more value in a membership.
And that might come up with, I guess, with the change in climate once
Yes.
restrictions are lifted back. You're talking about companies who might not need the bigger space that they're
Yep.
in. They might find that there is a lot more accessible
Yep.
that you can go look at. Because
Yeah.
companies, not just companies, some will have folded.
Yep.
Some might downgrade in size and
Yeah.
things like that. So it might be a
Yep.
good opportunity then.
Mate, we're in a good space to we're going to be able to come out of this and be able to take advantage of opportunities rather than, like, there's already gyms that are selling off all their equipment because they're not
Yeah.
even going to try and reopen. And I know of them. And even the place that we were looking at to moving into, that big place I mentioned before, it was a company that had that and another workshop over at Wetherell Park.
Okay.
But they closed down the one at South Windsor to just focus on the one at Wetherell Park before all of this happened. So I think you're going to see a lot of businesses basically restructure
Yeah.
and downsize or close down altogether. And we're going to see a lot more places that are available that are probably more suitable for a lot less rent than what we would have before this. So I think opportunities are going to be there. It's just, I guess we want to have that, not guarantee, but that confidence that
To going forward.
That we've got the membership base there and it's solid, and then move.
I think maybe outside of everyone going back to normal day-to-day life, hopefully you might get an influx of members, because what I've seen online is the majority of the people who are active and doing things all happen to be CrossFitters or functional type people on social media.
Yep.
Yeah, people who go to the average gyms, they're not posting home workouts and things like that. And to the public looking from the outside in, if someone's looking for that extra, like, I want to go do that, or the stigma around CrossFit was it was very balls to wall and brawn, and that's the average people who are doing it.
Yeah.
I think that you might get a few more people who have been looking to go try something. That's a bit more accessible.
Yeah, definitely, mate. These online programs, so John and Shay, they have close to 50 people now that they're programming for individually each week.
Yeah.
Some of those are friends of people from here that don't even live anywhere near here.
Yeah, right.
So, my gym's not doing anything, they just closed down. But your gym's got your program and you're training from home. How can I get onto that? So, it's over in lady over in the Blue Mountains that lives at Woodford. We've got someone that's on a cruise ship. There's people that live on the other side of Penrith that are working with Shay, and mate, so there's people that I think out of this that their gym is not doing anything.
Yeah.
But it's exposed that if you can still provide that community feel and some online programming and still working with people, it
is word of mouth too.
It's word of mouth.
You get a lot of people who do come in here that friends of friends and things like that.
Yeah. So we're getting exposed to people that we might not have been exposed to prior to this.
Yeah.
And I think what's going to change for us is that we might physically reopen the roller door and run classes, but our online programming and coaching is going to continue.
Yeah.
It's
another avenue.
It's definitely,
and it's a nutrition thing as well.
Mate, Shay's taken off, man. She's got, so John's got nearly 30 people that he's individually programming for, and then Shay's got probably about 22 or 23. And then she's got about another 14 people with just nutrition.
Yeah, right.
So it's they're busy.
It is, yeah. It's good. It's good to see that they're still doing something. And I mean, obviously with their drive, that even if there wasn't that, they would be doing something else.
Yeah.
They're not people to sit around and.
No, definitely.
But then that's
not.
what this whole place is like, anyway. The people who are here aren't the people just to sit around and.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing to be around for, if you're looking for that extra edge and you come in here every day and it does demand a lot from you, but. It makes you a better person.
Yeah, I mean, you're connected to so many people here. And there's
I think 15 people is the last count.
So many people have started here because you've brought them out. What do you just chip away at them, or what? Okay, I wanted to ask you, when you say to them, "Hey, come and do CrossFit," what's their initial barrier, or what do they?
I can't do it.
Yeah,
I can't do what you guys do because I think that all that the mass population are exposed to would be what you see on YouTube or TV and things like that, where you're high level. You're only watching what the high level people do.
Yeah.
You don't see your mums and dads in here who are doing a scaled version or something. So it is daunting and confronting to go, well, okay, come do this. And they look up CrossFit and they're like, holy fuck, I can't do that.
Yeah.
But then you explain to them. So, but there is the other guys who are looking for a little bit more of an edge, and you go, oh, this is what it's about, and they come do it. Usually on a Saturday you bring them in, or I brought them in on a Saturday, and so it's a partner workout. It's not as daunting, and they love it. They don't really ever leave. So, but it's more so I think that what they think it is, what they perceive.
Yeah.
Because it is that's what I thought it was when I first started, and it is pretty intense compared to. But then you come here for an hour, and you do say 40 minutes, half hour of a workout, and then you go, what do I do for 4 years? That stand in front of the mirror at any time.
Yeah.
You know, up and down, in and out, up and down.
Look at those muscles.
Yeah, that's it. Like having a bro session.
Yeah.
And then actually most of us ended up here.
Yeah.
So I've gone because I did have membership still with them. And I remember going back and they're like, oh, none of you go here anymore. And I think we outgrew that. And then you do want to see your friends. You do like that camaraderie as well. So if there's 6 of you in a group and 4 of you go there, well then the other 2 are bound to come.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what I found as well. But some of the guys are very easy to convince. I think sometimes girls are a little bit harder because I think they think it's a male-dominated environment.
Yes.
And weights, and I don't want to look like, because they look at the girls obviously at top level as well. I don't want to look like that, and you're like, well, you're not gonna be cleaning 100.
Yeah.
No, I can't even do that. So, but that's what these are their top level athletes, and they just it's what they generally perceive, and then they come here and everyone loves it.
Yeah. Well, we're very close to 50-50 male versus female.
Yeah, and they all, like, you look at all the girls, they're all putting in and learning quite a lot, and especially with the weights and things. I think that generally all, like with the gymnastics side of it, they're always pretty good, but then they're always a bit scared of weights, but then once they get into it, like, it was, I mean, when you first come here and you come in from another gym and you're kind of a more solid type of guy, and you walk in and Shay snatches more than you in the first week. You're like, okay, what is this? What is that thing? And then it does humble a lot of people, and it's good that it does that, because you might come here in a bit, you know, especially with their sports backgrounds, and you're like, oh, like you got to go back at the bar, and Josh Wood puts you on a broomstick, and you're like, okay, and then it teaches you again, like, you
just got to put your ego into your pocket,
absolutely,
and then if you're willing to do that and just chip away at it, you end up being in a really good place.
Yeah, now I can snatch more than Shay, so it works out good.
And gymnastics is the same as that. Like people come in and think, oh yeah, they see the butterfly pull-ups or people doing a muscle-up and they say, oh yeah, I'll just jump up and do that, and they can't. And it's like you see this look on their face that...
Like if you go do a pistol squat and you'd say to someone, or Wayne did it the other day, I was like, could do a one-legged squat. And he's like, yeah, easy. And I was like, you think it is, and there's so many things you look at from the outside and you're like, I could do that. And then you go do it, you're like, what is this? This is devil magic. Like, what is going on?
That gives you something to work on, eh?
Yeah, it does. And I think that you always keep progressing from there.
Yeah, for sure.
But that humbling of people coming in who, and it does take a certain type of person to want to stay here and do it. You find that there's people who come and go, but they're never going to last.
That they were never going to last in the first place.
Yeah, they weren't. Like they like the idea of it and bettering themselves and whatnot, but coming and not being able to lift heavy and
they want to do it straight away.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's when I think people's perception of, oh, you always get injured and this and this. Well, if you do come in and you're outside your means, you're gonna, like it's happened to me. Like I tried to lift more than what I should have at the time or something, and I hurt myself. So
yeah, we've all been there.
It takes you to go, okay, well hang on, like maybe go back a little bit.
Yeah, because you can get excited too. You can go,
it's the environment.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
So
cool, man. I wanted to ask you if you can go back to teenage guy or even 20-year-old guy. What advice would you give that?
Keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think purely at the time, like I said, I think you're so self-centered at that age that you don't look at the bigger picture. But that's the beauty of it. You have so much fun.
Yeah.
You're like you couldn't be 20 with this mindset now, or it's just that's what it's meant for. You're meant to make all your mistakes and your lessons at that age. So
yeah, you're meant to have fun at that age.
Yeah, 100%. I think you're still meant to have fun at this age, and I do a good job of that.
Yeah.
So, I think there comes a time where you've got to be serious, and then there comes a time. But if you can mix both of them, and you can find, I don't know, if you're happy with what you're doing, and you always learn and try and achieve whatever your goal is. I think when people set realistic goals too, the more achievable ones, then it gives you more ammo to go to that next one.
Yes.
If you aim really high at the start and there's 100 steps to get there, then it's never going. It's not. You got to tick off little milestones.
Yeah.
And I probably should have done that maybe more when I was a little bit younger, but I did a pretty good job of it, I think.
Yeah, it's good. Have fun. Just take small steps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool, man.
So I did a pretty good job of it when I was a teen. So gave it a fair nudge.
Mate, I've got some rapid fire questions for you.
Yeah.
So we're heading over 2 hours now.
Oh, you're joking?
Yeah,
right.
Quick, hey.
Who do I invoice? This is the best deposition I've ever been in.
Sammy on Saturday, mate, we did hour 15 minutes, and he said it felt like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It just flies, hey.
Yeah, it's good.
What's your favourite takeaway meal?
Parky Pizza at Londonderry.
Yes.
By far, and I think it's got a wrap on here before. Top Buffalo always gets a wrap. It's good.
Yep.
But that's your Sunday go-to down there. So James Clark, good family.
Yep. That's I love that pizza.
Oh, unreal. Aldo Pizza at McGrath Hill gives it a fairly good run. I think it's just because of the convenience at the moment, but like it is good.
Yep.
Real good. So
nothing beats home.
Nothing beats home. Yeah,
Park
that's
view.
it.
Favourite all-time movie?
Top Gun.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're going to watch too?
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah. You'll be lining up at.
That's it.
We might not be even able to go to the movies.
I think that they postponed a lot of those movies that were meant to be coming out now because they're all based on box office sales and things like that. Like some have gone straight to your iTunes. You can buy movies off iTunes.
Okay.
So movies that were meant to be out now have all been postponed. So, but what's going to happen when they reopen movies? Does everyone hurry back and then you sit next to people in the same situation again? Or it would be interesting to see if they do stage things out from a business point of view, because you look Hollywood as a business.
Yeah.
So,
there's so many unknowns, isn't there? Like straight away then I just thought automatically, go and see that at the movies in July. I think it's out in July. It was supposed to be.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Who knows when now?
Yeah, well that's it. You think of all the people that lost money, all the popcorn makers and everything.
Popcorn.
Yeah. All the cool fruits and choc top, mate, they're all gone out of business as well.
Yeah, 100%. Any elite talent or superpower you could have, what would it be?
It'd have to be teleportation. It's been brought up before, but no traffic, go wherever you want.
Yeah.
I mean, you wouldn't be going to work anyway if you had
Time as
teleportation.
well, or could you appear in another time? Or
That'd be the go.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll be able to answer your question about the pyramids.
Yeah,
That's it, yeah.
I like it, mate. And if you're down to your last $20 and then it's all over,
I thought about this. When you say down to your last $20, does that mean I'm about to die and I've got $3 left?
Correct.
Or I thought it might just be 20. I'm like, because that happened heaps of time in my teens. I've got through it now, so I can't remember what to do with it. Last $20.
Once you spend that $20, you're expired.
Yeah, right.
So it literally is your last supper.
I'm expired, right. Would have to be a train ticket to maybe somewhere on the beaches, like, or get off and just go to Manly or something, and then whatever I had left, you'd buy, I don't know.
Choc top.
Nah, that's it. Buy some popcorn and watch the sun go down. Nah, it'd be, what would it be? Maybe just a tequila, some form of tequila, and just, that's it, fade off into the distance.
Yep, sounds good.
Yeah, that'd be me.
Mate, well, yeah, State Rail or New South Wales Transport will probably take you $20.
I might have to jump it, so I might have to, it might be a down payment on my fine.
Yeah, for sure.
That's it.
Mate, well, that's it. I'm doing another podcast with Emily Rains on Saturday, which will be her second one. So cool. Eventually I want to get around and do a part 2 with everyone. So, mate,
there's plenty more travel stories there for you.
Yeah, and that's huge. It. Like I was saying to a lot of people, 26, 27, 28 years, 45 years, like it's hard to really go down rabbit holes and talk about someone's life in an hour or 2 hours. So
massively.
There's so much more that you can explore and stuff. So I think you'll even realise when we finish now, like, I wanted to bring that up, I wanted to speak about that. But there's so much to talk about on these things.
Yeah, for sure.
So we'll do a part 2 again sometime.
It'd be a good outro to have the 60 minutes.
Yeah.
You
Mate,
do that.
That's I need.
Like hitting it with the hard hitting questions.
I'm trying to learn how to edit things in and out. So and all of this is new to me as well. But it's just this raw conversation about someone's life. I love it, and it's
it's good. I've listened to all of them actually, and
it's good.
You get an insight in other people's life outside of the gym. And you're like, oh wow, they do that. Like, especially like the nurses and healthcare workers and things. You're like, oh wow, not everyone just has a good day and things they deal with, and I think another perspective, which is good.
Such a diverse range of people that come just here, and everyone's got a story to tell. And so it's interesting of where people have been and what they've done in their life. Like, I never knew you jumped out of a helicopter in Switzerland. Like, it's just good to hear about those things,
Yeah, some cool stuff, I think. Yeah, and everyone tries to do take a few more risks and do that. It makes for a better life. So.
Yeah, 100%, brother. Mate, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day.
Thank you for having me.
And see you again soon.
Counting on it.
Thanks, guys.
So much. That was good.
Awesome.